Steve Adubato at the 5K, the New Jersey Sharing Network 5K, and we're honored to meet Lakeisha Bray, the mother of an organ and tissue donor by the name of Talia Joy Stokes.
Yes.
Tell us about Talia.
Talia was born in 1993. She was born with cerebral palsy. Doctors had told me that my daughter may not make it to the age of 5. So to be able to watch her progression, being a high-functioning child with a disability, Talia loved to dance, sing. She loves candy and cell phones.
Oh, wow. So tell us a little bit more about what happens.
Talia ended up having a seizure. The first time she had a seizure, she was about 9. That was the first time I've seen an active one. Her disability, she had what was called a right hemiplegia. Talia's brain never completely developed. So the portion of her brain that was missing had to do with her motor skills, her speech. But by the grace of God, although that area was voided, Talia was able to develop speech. She was able to learn how to walk. She was able to go to school and be able to learn and function like a normal student. And we were transitioning her into adulthood at the age of 20.
So the whole idea of organ donation, giving the gift of life, does it ever come up?
It did. The first time I've heard about organ donation, I had to be probably about 12 years old.
Right.
And at that time I said, you know what, I want to be an organ donor and I also want to work in a hospital.
Is that right?
Yes. So at the age of 14, my first job was a candy striper. The day I turned 14, I already had my papers, everything signed, and I went over to Muhlenberg Hospital to join as a volunteer.
Over in Plainfield?
In Plainfield as a candy striper. It wasn't a real job, it didn't pay, but it was a job for me.
So the idea of Talia giving the gift of life.
Yes. That was it was a no-brainer for me.
How could it be? How's it a no-brainer?
When Talia was born, Talia came into this world as what our family called a miracle baby, with having her disabilities. And to be able to share the gift of life and to allow my child to transition being a miracle to someone else was the biggest thing that myself and my family could ever have done. I knew that it wasn't going to be a hard decision because at the same time, someone was praying for that miracle for their loved one. So I knew that with my family's decision and my decision, we were making the best choice, which was to help save someone else's life.
Who was helped?
Talia saved 3 people's lives.
Yeah, so I was going to say there are 3 people's lives that were
Yes,
saved.
and her organs, one recipient received her heart along with a kidney, another one received her right kidney, and someone else received her liver.
Wow. Tell us about your sister.
Okay, so my sister's name was Tabitha Ann, and Tabitha ended up needing an intestinal transplant.
She needed an intestinal transplant.
Never.
And you've been involved? You were helping?
Yes.
Talia did what Talia did, and?
6 months later, Tabitha needed a transplant. And we had just did all the blood work, everything for her to start making a transition to move closer to the hospital that would have been performing that particular intestinal transplant. Unfortunately, time was not on her side because Tabitha died 2 weeks later.
What message do you want to send right now, Lakeisha, to everybody watching with the website up who is moved by your story?
I call organ and tissue transplant the dinner talk.
The dinner talk.
And the reason why I call it the dinner talk is because this is a conversation that people need to really sit and have with their families and with their loved ones. You don't want your family to have to try to make that decision at a critical time when they should be mourning the situation at hand or going through the situation at hand. They need to be ready and prepared and already know what your final wishes are. Most families don't have that discussion. Some children that I have spoken to, as far as teens, have said, oh, my parents made that decision for me. So as an adult or transitioning into adulthood, that's a decision that you can make yourself. I feel like I could be standing talking to a person today or tomorrow, and the next day they can find out that they may need a new heart or a new liver or a new kidney, and they have never had that discussion with their family. So that's why I call it the dinner talk. Most families are together at dinner time.
Yeah. Finally, the race today, Joy Bell's Love.
Yes.
Name of the team. You got everybody ready?
Yes.
How pumped up are you?
I am so pumped up. I've been pumped up for like 2 months.
Getting ready for today.
Getting ready for today. This is the first time that I'm going to actually be in the actual 5K. Last year was virtual due to COVID. So I really worked really hard to be able to do that with my underlying health issues. So for me, I'm doing the time race, but it's about completing the race.
Yeah. Good luck today.
Thank you so much.
You're helping a lot of people right now.
Yes.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, the Fidelco Group, TD Bank, New Jersey Sharing Network, the Healthcare Foundation of New Jersey, the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey, the North Ward Center, and by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. Promotional support provided by bestofnj.com and by CIANJ and Commerce Magazine.
The North Ward Center was founded on the vision that community is connected to neighborhood stabilization, and neighborhoods need a place for kids to play. That's why we're building a recreational complex in the heart of Newark. Unfortunately, inner-city youth development programs are dwindling. We want to expand on our promise and build a place where kids are welcomed and doors remain open. The North Ward Center, building a better community, 48 years and counting.